Hey baddies, welcome to episode 6 of From Corporate to Be Bad. And before you start, I know y'all probably finna get on my corny ass for this hat, but it just came in the mail today and I was so pressed, so I had to wear it. So stay tuned to episode 6.
Tell me what you want from me. Tell me what you want. You won't open up to me.
Baddies, if this is your first time coming here, thank you so much for tuning in to From Corporate to Be Bad. I really hope that you enjoy the nuggets that I have for you in store. Also be able to check out, or make sure that you check out episodes 1 through 5 all on my channel. And for my faithful baddies who have been tuning in, thank you so much for continuing to rock with me. I hope that this episode continues to exceed your expectations or continue to meet your expectations or whatever that looks like. But let's jump in. I recall kind of from episode 1, one of the things that I really said that I wanted to focus on for kind of my entrepreneurial journey, or let me back out. One of the things that I said that I wanted to really kind of focus on while I am taking this kind of extended break from the 9-to-5 working kind of lifestyle was rest. I felt like I need so much rest. I felt like, I told you guys, I felt like I was waking up every day at like 35% when I feel like the normal person would wake up between 90 and 100%. And so that 35 had me a little afraid, and I was just like, well, I think I need to start getting some actual fucking rest in my life because I'm afraid to see what the fuck 0 looks like. So let's go ahead and start actually getting some rest. So long story short, off of this rest, when I tell y'all I feel so incredible, like not only have I been getting a ton of rest, and also rest in unconventional hours too. Like I love me a nice ass fucking afternoon nap. Like it's nothing like an afternoon nap with a little bit of rain outside and a little bit of dimness in your bedroom. Honey, I'm out for a few hours. So it's just like I've been finding ways and times to nap, but also going back to my ideology of resting equaling laziness. I've done my best to kind of start digging and dismantling what it is that makes me feel like those two things are associated or kind of work hand in hand. But I feel like I've not been feeling as guilty about actually getting some rest, just because the amount of content and the amount of work that I've actually been able to get done, I'm so incredibly proud of, that it's like, okay girl, you deserve a rest. Like girl, you deserve a nap. Like you just cranked this out. Like you deserve a little bit of rest. So I haven't necessarily been feeling like, oh my god, like shit, shame on you, like you've been taking all these naps. So that's amazing. But then also another thing I kind of want to tap into is that I think I kind of said this in a previous episode too, but I was listening to someone and they were like, would you put regular fuel in a Maserati? And I'm like, bitch, you wouldn't. So, and they kind of liken that to the idea of like putting bullshit food in your body and wanting to make sure that your body runs and runs smoothly. I feel like I'm about to be on this earth killing it for a minute, and I need to make sure that I'm not killing myself while I'm in the process. So I've been really tuning in on just this kind of, I don't even want to call it like a holistic approach, but kind of like taking in more greens, making sure I'm eating more healthy, making sure I'm more conscious of what I'm putting in my body, making sure I'm spending less time at the drive-thru and more time in the kitchen. And one thing that I will say is that I was having a conversation with one of my sorority sisters a couple weeks back, and I was like, bitch, I'm not a huge girl, but I feel like when I'm walking, like I'm carrying the body of a sumo wrestler. Like for some reason I was just feeling extremely like heavy and like very heavily rooted. And I want to say maybe like maybe a week ago I woke up and I was like, bitch, I feel so light on my feet. I could do like them little fucking football drills where they had like the little ladder and they be doing a little, I feel like I could do some shit like that. Like I literally felt like ballerina on my fucking feet. I'm like, oh my god, like these feet are feeling so much lighter. And I just feel like there's not necessarily this heaviness or like this sluggishness that I was carrying around with my body, and that's something that I'm really excited about. In addition to eating better and getting more rest though, I've been continuing to meditate, of course. I feel like I've kind of talked to you all about that, but then also I've been getting back into yoga. I don't want to say that there was necessarily a period where I just completely deaded yoga. It's kind of always been there, but I just don't feel like I've had time to dedicate to it as much as I would have liked to within the past couple of months when life just got fucking crazy as hell and start picking up and shit. So I feel like I've been doing that more, and I feel like, I forget where I read the quote from, but it's like, you stretch to remember your body. And it's something about that that just, it just really hits me, because I feel like when I'm stretching or when I'm doing yoga, I just feel so in tune and so one with my body. And I feel like that's another piece that's helping me feel so like ballerina on my fucking feet, if you will. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on like me feeling restful, my healthiness, or however I'm feeling, and just kind of to encourage you all. We want to live these amazing ass lifestyles, and we want to be amazing, but we can't work if our bodies physically don't function. And I feel like a lot of the different illnesses and symptoms that we may be feeling are stemming from poor diet and just not really taking care of ourselves and taking care of our bodies. So that has been one of the things that I have kind of charged myself with over the course of this journey as well. So another thing I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about, and I know that I kind of mentioned this and blew this out last week, but I really want to jump back into content. I don't know if it's because I'm just feeling hella proud about the amount of content I've been able to crank out, or just that I've been able to kind of find my voice and also thus find my style and kind of find my rhythm as well. So I'm in a space where I'm super excited about that. If you guys haven't seen it, of course there's always a shameless plug every video, so please forgive me. But if you guys have not seen it, I recently rolled out a new weekly format of my newsletter. For those of you who were previously subscribed, you know that it was a monthly newsletter, but I've kind of, with me increasing the amount of content that I'm actually putting out, I wanted to switch it to more of a weekly format so that I can give you kind of a recap of the content of the week. My friends are like, girl, you crank out so much shit that I can't even like sit down and actually read it, because I'm just like, oh, this bitch posted another fucking post. So I wanted to kind of do you guys a solid and find a way to kind of be able to consolidate all of that different content. So within this newsletter, you're gonna get all of the posts for the week, which is for each week I do a intellect, a goon, a professionalism, and a glam. Really jumping back into glam, so kind of stay tuned for that. If all goes well, if all of the stars align, there will be a new glam video coming out this Saturday, so stay tuned. If not, I'm gonna highlight y'all next week. Don't kill me. But I have all of those on the weekly newsletter, and then I also have kind of this Be Bad bit, and it's kind of this bit just to kind of get your week started, and it ties back into my monthly theme, and this month's theme of course just so happens to be your best self. So if you are interested in subscribing to my newsletter, head over to either bebadpr.com or bebadblog.com. It'll be the first thing you see when you head over to the website, so please subscribe if you're interested in getting those weekly newsletters. Another thing that I kind of wanted to really talk to you guys about, or not even really talk to you all about, but kind of bridging from the idea of content, I feel like I finally, so let me back out just a little bit. I've been trying to find numerous different types of ways to either organize my content, or not even organize my content per se. I've just been trying to find ways to remain organized within the system that is the Be Bad brand. So I've been trying to put these systems and these automatizations, and I feel like I'm saying that word wrong every time. Y'all probably laughing at me. But I'm putting those into place, and also staying organized. And one of the things that helps me stay extremely organized, and I don't know if you all beg to differ, drop me some notes in the comment section if you found a better way to do this, but Google helps me stay completely organized. Now, not even Google specifically singularly, but Google Drive. Within a Google Drive, they have Google Sheets, which is kind of like Google's equivalent to Microsoft Excel. And then they also have Google Docs, which of course is kind of the equivalent to Microsoft Word, so on and so forth. So they have all of the different Microsoft Office kind of programs in a Google format. And what's so exciting about this Google format, and I'm sure that all of you know, but for those of you who do not, is that multiple people can be working within that document at the same exact time in real time. So let's say you have a group project or something and you just need to be in this doc, but then your classmate also needs to be in the doc as well. It won't fuck you up from what you're doing with that other person being in there. So saying all that to say, I finally developed a actual content kind of calendar or content schedule that I have found to be very useful for me. And because I found it to be very useful for me, and because I love my baddies, I am giving it away. So I'm going to do a freebie. If you are interested in downloading this content calendar absolutely for the free 99, click the link below. And the last thing I really want to talk about is just when you are in a particular field or when you're in a particular industry, it is imperative that you are the keeper of all knowledge about that particular industry. And what I mean by that is that you need to be the most researched person about that entire industry if you want to not only succeed, excel, but like change the game in that particular industry. You need to make sure that you know everything about it. Now let me back out with a little bit of anecdote. And sis, please forgive me. Love you dearly. If you watch this, it's no shade at all. Love you much, much, much. But I need to use this anecdote in order to help this bigger picture. So I was having a conversation with someone who I love very dearly, and she wanted me to kind of help her with her business from a branding perspective, and then just from an overall kind of macro business lens, kind of looking at the plan, looking at the functions, etc. Now, when I started asking kind of some probing questions about who are the competitors in our space, what are the things that they are doing better than her, what are some of the kind of gaps within their business that I felt like, or that she felt like she could fill with her particular business. And then it was kind of a period of, well, I haven't really looked that deep into them. Now, the issue with that is, how can you really say that you're going to be in a space, be competitive in a space, or take over a space when you don't know anything about the space? So you're kind of just going in blindly, and you're doing nobody but yourself a disservice, because I think the main thing really about it is just, how do you know what to offer to the space if you don't already know what's in the space? And I think that's kind of the lens that I come from with that. So I really just wanted to bring this note to you all, just to say that it's so important that you are doing your research. I feel like I have people, I don't know if I just present myself so fucking knowledgeable to people, and I am the keeper of useless knowledge, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if people are just like, oh, she's smart, let me ask her every fucking thing. But the amount of Googleable questions that I get in my inbox on a daily basis, like people texting me or emailing me or whatever, like, it's no shade, I don't mind helping people. But I think that my personal gut check when it comes time to like ask questions are, did I exhaust all of my resources possible before I decided to ask this question? And I know that sometimes immediacy is key, but I think that we need to start being a little more, I don't want to call it tireless, but I think that we need to be more, I forget the word that I'm looking for, but I think that we need to go ahead and start taking it upon ourselves to do their research, to dig a step further before we reach out for a phone a friend, or before we reach out to get some particular help. And I feel like for me in particular, anytime that someone has kind of extended their hand to me within the industry for help, etc., whatever that looks like, I feel like people really want to help me because they see me helping myself. So the more that you help yourself, and the more that people see you kind of grinding and really trying to do everything that it takes to excel within your particular industry or whatever it is that you're doing, I think that the more people will want to help you. So I think that it's important that we condition ourselves to be reliant upon ourselves and ourselves only. I don't want to say only, for people in relationships, etc., however that looks, but I feel like we need to be really, really reliant upon ourselves and not have this sort of dependency when it comes down to needing help in terms of areas in which we lack per se. But then also, of course, you can go ahead and get help where you need it. I just say that your first step needs to be, can Google answer this question for me before I pick up my phone and get that? But kind of going back into the idea of making sure that you know everything within the space including your competitors, the history of the space, what's currently happening in the space right now, what are the current events, what are the new technologies that are coming down the pipeline, or what are the new iterations of whatever that is going to be happening in just a little bit of time. I think that those are some questions that you need to be asking yourself. Also, when it comes down to creating a business, have you looked at a business plan before? If the question is no, before you write yours, that's where you need to be starting, is looking through that, understanding what the actual document is, understanding what the function of the document is, and understanding how exactly you can kind of create that different language based upon what your particular business is. So I feel like you just need to become familiar about the different things within the space, the different tools within the space. If you're sitting down and you want a consultation with me about branding or public relations, while I would be we would be in a client kind of relationship, I still would want for you to understand what exactly it is that you want from me. So meaning that I need you to understand what my job is so that you can know how to best utilize me. And I think that that's kind of something that's probably standard across the board, but that was something that was just really on my spirit. So if you are in a space, if you have a business, if you are in a field, just please try your best to be the most knowledgeable person. And I know that none of us are probably going to be the absolute most knowledgeable person, but if you can at least put that intention on your spirit, it'll help you to be at least very knowledgeable in the space, if not the most knowledgeable person. So I think that's everything that I have for you guys for episode 6. Like I said, thank you so much for rocking with me. I hope you liked this episode. I hope you were able to take a nugget or two from everything that I shared with you all. And once again, if you are interested in that freebie, go ahead and click the link below. I'll see you all next week. Bye, baddies.
Is she, was she, not